Welcome to our casual conversation, our weekly casual conversation. My name is Lulu Sofiana and I'm the host of Casual Conversation. This event is presented by Insight Media Inspirasi, a platform that I created. The aim to share knowledge, building awareness, and providing an insight related to topics uh, such as psychology, education, as well as cross-cultural understanding. Today, our guest is Melanie. She's from India. She's a very talented young woman. That's like my
Thank you.
person of her. And he achieved a lot, I think, in her very young age. You're just around 23, right, Melanie?
24.
Oh, 24 now. Yeah, okay. And currently, her main role is becoming the director of an international school in India, and I know your interest is around parenting style. So if any of
That's right.
willing to collaborate, for instance, in researching about parenting style, I think she would love to join. She would love to join your research. And also, her passion is helping underachiever and helping them to a reputable level. Okay, before we start, I want you to check your chat box. There is a link there. You can click the link and type your answer. Yeah, since the goal of this casual conversation is not only we learn something from our guests, but it is also to make you understand about other culture and meet someone from another culture and know about their way of life, about their culture. So first of all, I want to know like your baseline, your basic knowledge about India. So when you hear the word India, what comes up in your mind? Okay. Gap wealth, rich versus poor. Yeah, we have that too here in Indonesia. We have very rich people and people from underprivileged. Yeah. A secular country. Hmm, is it right?
That's very right.
Yeah. Okay. And then what else? What do you think about the gap between the rich and the poor in India, Milani?
Well, there are differences for sure, and I would say this is probably not just about India. This is in any country. Let's even talk about America, but there are going to be differences, wealth differences anywhere, everywhere. Also, depending on place, like for example, even in just if we talk about Indore city, there are regions. There are look, let's say neighborhoods. Some neighborhoods are tagged as let's say wealthy people live there. Some localities or some neighborhoods are tagged as not so rich people live there. But sure, there are differences, but I would say these differences do not reflect. Schools are kept secular. These do not reflect on education
Mhm.
at schools or at places like that. It is not reflected, and it does not affect anything. you know I'm sure it is same in Indonesia as well. um,
Do you mean student? I mean, like student from the poor family or from underprivileged family can access education, like.
uh, sure, they can if they can afford the fees, at private schools, but otherwise they're all treated same.
Mm.
you know they're all treated same. There is gap between rich and poor, but not at schools. In the eyes of a teacher or an educator, they're all just the same.
Oh, yeah, yeah, sure. Mhm. Okay, yeah, it's happened everywhere. Maybe like
Yeah,
for instance, for us who ever like study in the U.S., we saw many people. There are homeless as well. Maybe
they live in the libraries.
that are not captured by media very often, but yeah, that's the reality. Even in the capital city of the United States, which is Washington D.C., we saw a lot of homeless there. So yeah, it's not really about India, but it's problem of every country.
But Lulu, would you agree that India is somehow presented like that by media?
Mm, well, I think uh, it's it's irony because like we love Bollywood movie, right? We love Bollywood movie, and we don't see something like that in the movie. So maybe like, yeah, somewhere, but not like the whole India has that problem. So we can
Uh-huh,
generalize everything.
uh-huh.
Hmm. So about the secular countries, so mm, is it like in Indonesia we have the Ministry of Religious Religion? How to say that? The Ministry of Religious Affair. So in India you don't have something like that, right? Like it's totally.
Well, well, with India being a secular country, what I can tell you is that again, at places, or let's say, for example, again, if we talk about education institute or anything like that, again, doesn't matter what religion you are from, you're most welcomed. Any place you go to, you're most welcomed. They don't care about your religion. So it is a secular country that way. There is no religious tag to a person uh, to admit anywhere, to be able to get admitted anywhere.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. And then about the rich heritage, you know what? Like my family love to watch the Mahabharata movie.
Yeah,
Series.
it's an epic. Yeah.
It's. I think we also learn about that in some of our history class, or like literature class, if I'm not mistaken. Like it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the longest
We
manuscript. Although we also have a longer manuscript than Mahabharata, but not very famous. It's from Sulawesi, if I'm not mistaken. It calls Lagaligo. So it's
Mhm.
the longest manuscript in the world, and it's
Mhm.
longer than Mahabharata. That already long enough.
See?
Yeah, but it's not as famous
Interesting.
as Mahabharata. So yeah.
Interesting.
Okay then. Would you like to introduce yourself, Melanie?
Sure. So, well, everybody already knows my name now. Uh, so, I did my schooling from Indore, the city where I am from, and while my schooling, I apart from academics, I got really interested into public speaking. I would participate in any and every possible public speaking event. And I used to love being on the stage, talking on mic. And that's how I really found out that I am interested in talking to people. I'm interested in meeting with people. And when I actually was at school, I saw my school counselor meeting with parents, and the kind of problems that she used to deal with got me really inclined towards the field that I am in today. That's when I actually knew that I want to be in this field, education field. And later I went out from home. Right after my school, I went out. For undergrad, I was in Jaipur, which is a different city from Indore. And I did my bachelor's in psychology from there. Got huge experience, got amazing teachers to guide me. Later, I went to America with Laluk. We were in the same class. And yeah, I then got a degree in education. Currently, I'm doing a diploma in education administration, as well as I'm studying law. So all that keeps me really busy, along with being director at a CBSE private school in Indore. So yeah, I think I really like my journey. I learned a lot from a lot of teachers, and even like I would say, for educators, learning never stops. We learn from students, we learn from our co-workers, teachers, our students. So yeah, I enjoy what I do. I absolutely love my work.
Okay, could you tell us about your school, like the Vidyanjali International School?
Yeah, so Vidyanjali International School was started in 2008, and it's been more than 12 years now. When we started with a really low capacity. It was only for girls, Lulu. When we started, it was only for girls. And I think with years, we did pretty well. We got amazing teachers. We hired amazing teachers. Got very good response from parents and students around the city. So when we saw the growth of the school, it actually clicked that probably we could make it co-ed. And not just that, we had a lot of requests from the existing parents, like parents whose girls were already studying at school. Those parents requested, why can't you do it co-ed as in for boys as well, so that we could put both our children at your school. So because of the request of parents, we actually made it co-ed. So now we admit girls as well as boys both, since 3 years. And now we have a strength of 1000 plus students. And yeah, we're doing pretty well.
It's interesting. Why do you initially start with only girls?
So that's a great question, actually. Uh, well, in 2008, people had a different mindset. Not just that, but also there were limited schools that were only for girls in Indore. So, very limited schools which would take only girl child. And also, the owner of the school, Mr. Sanjay Pao, my father, he believed that educating girls is very, very important, and girls should be given like a wider platform, and a lot of things like that. So when we came up with the school in 2008, we had a 5-dimensional program. Actually, it was designed in a manner that girl would be taught life skills, and not just academics, but we also teach students to drive and ride bikes at school. So multifaceted development of a girl child. But then parents requested and we had to make it co-ed.
Mhm. Okay. I think in everything, not just only business, but also like education and everything. I think the hardest part is the beginning, like the start. Like, do you also experience how this school was started? Like how initially how many students you have, and then how the progress going on until it's as big as now.
Yeah, like you said, beginning of anything is not easy. So when we started with the school in 2008, like I said, we started with a very low capacity. We had very few students. And also in Indore, there are a lot of schools. So there is a lot of competition. Like in the same area where our school is situated, there are a lot of schools around that as well. So there's a lot of competition.
Yes.
uh, but I am glad we made our place, because like I said, we had this very different, very unique 5-dimensional program which got a lot of recognition and a lot of appreciation, not so surprisingly. So yeah, I think that really mattered and that really counted.
Mhm.
But beginning was not easy.
Mm. So do you
For
think
sure. I was really young when the school started. I was only 12 years old, and I studied at that school. I told you last time. I studied at that school when the school started. So I have seen the school grow with me.
Mhm.
Uh, so it's a journey of both of us.
Do you think what would you suggest to anyone? Like for instance, myself, I also want to build my own school someday when I'm ready. But like, yeah, I'm not sure that I will be ready for the process, like the ups and downs. What would you suggest to the person like myself who willing to start their own school?
First of all, I think it's a very, very good idea. Why? Because it brings you a lot of joy and a lot of satisfaction, Luluk. Uh, Educating somebody and seeing them grow because of you is a very, very joyful thing, a very, very joyful experience, I would say. So I think that's a great idea. But to start with, obviously we can take baby steps, maybe starting with elementary school. What do you call in Indonesia? Do you call it elementary school?
Yeah, sekolah dasar. Basically,
Okay, yeah, a preparatory, a pre-primary school, yeah. So we can start with elementary school, not just thinking of something huge, but taking baby steps always helps. So, but obviously, the journey in the beginning is not easy. Also, I would say I am with all my heart there to help as much as I can from being at such a distance. But starting small is a good idea.
hmm, okay. And also, you're very young right now, right? And you are the director of that school. I think people who already in that school will, for instance, it happens to many people, like for instance in the place where I work as well, like usually some people think that you're not mature enough to lead, you're not good enough to lead your subordinate who are already experienced in this school or in that workplace. So how do you deal with all of that doubtful, that like yeah, questioning, for instance, your mm, what should I say? You get my
Yeah, no, I get what you. Yeah. What you're saying is a very big personal challenge that I faced initially. That was my personal, I would say, challenge. What happened is, actually in India, age is of utmost respect. Anything above age. If a person is like elder to you, you're automatically respecting them. I would not even say you're supposed to respect them. It just comes out naturally. Respect for age comes out naturally in India. So because of that, I do respect others, but because me being young and not so experienced, and so I had to face that. But with time, when people saw my work, when people saw me work and my growth was clearly visible, and that gradually gained me a lot of respect. But again, age in India is of utmost respect. Experience or your exposure or all that comes second.
yeah. Yeah, I think it happens in many places.
So yeah, well that's a good question. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay, so for you want to have question or you want to ask something, feel free, although it doesn't relate to what we are talking about right now, feel free to click your raise hand button, or you directly turn on your microphone and then ask question directly to Melanie. And okay, Melanie, I think nowadays we are getting to have more and more leader that are younger and younger. You know, like a long time ago in educational sector, a long time ago, people who has like PhD degree are those already mature enough or enough. But right now, even you can hold a PhD degree right now if you want, right? Yes, you haven't take
Yeah.
that that level yet. So people are now like the leader are getting younger and younger, and many people already successful in their young. Oh, I think Melanie is freezing. Does everybody hear Melanie correctly?
I I can hear you. I don't know about others if they can hear me. Am I audible?
Yep. Oh,
Yes, ma'am.
Lydia says, hello, Lydia. Do you want a question? Or you
Hey, Lydia.
just wanna respond to uh, the previous greeting? Okay. Who is
Yeah.
Krati Tomar? Is it your student?
Yes, she's another student of mine.
Oh, okay. Okay, then. Where were we?
Yeah, we were talking about young leaders.
Of course, during your role as a director of the school, you might find students who are underachiever, right? So how do you help them?
So that is again something very much of my interest. And underachiever, I would say, does not just mean somebody who is not great at academics,
Mhm.
right? But underachiever can also be somebody who has any other struggles, let's say, in any other area, right? But to help them, first of all, me and my teachers, towards the beginning of the session, first of all, we interact with students and find out who are those students who need help, right? And then I would meet them one on one personally. We would try to recognize their problem, first of all. You see, it can be because of a lot of reasons. Sometimes in the aptitude test, we can find out that, okay, he or she is low on aptitude. Sometimes we find out while talking to them that there's a family problem, you know. um, there can be various reasons for them being underachievers. So what my role is, I try to bridge a student, and I try to become a bridge between a student and a teacher. So I communicate, I recognize the problem of the student, and I communicate it to their teacher, so that all the teachers can work accordingly with that child. Sometimes there's a high need of us, like us as a school, to talk to their parents. So we call the parents of the underachiever student, and we call them to school and we talk to them about the problem. Sometimes we find out that they're not getting the right environment at their house, so they are need to be helped like that a lot of times. So yeah, recognizing their problem and becoming a bridge between student and parent and a student and a teacher is my basic role. When my teachers say that he or she is a problem child, I always tell my teachers that she's not a problem child. She has a problem, there's
Yeah,
a problem with the child. She is not a problem, but there's a problem with the child. So it's important to respect them and help them respectfully. And also, our basic aim is not for them to reach to a very high grade, but our aim would be, let's say, to make them reach towards a respectful grade, towards a respectful result, a result which will not make them feel low, but at least they would pass and reach to another grade. So I'm always there for such students, and also such parents struggle because parents really want their child to perform, and they have a lot of frustration towards their children. This is very, very common. I don't know about Indonesia, but sometimes parents get really short tempered if this child is not performing well academically. So it's important to counsel parents as well that it's okay. If a child is not performing well at school, there are other areas that he or she can do. But yeah, I think I enjoy helping people.
yeah. I like the point you made about like detach the problem and the child, because usually society or parents even like label the children when they are as a problem itself. So like here's
Yeah,
comes, whereas like we need to detach what is actually the problem, and this the child it's not a problem, but this is a child with a problem, not like he is
right.
also is a problem. And also like usually parent when they put their children to school, they already like okay, hands off, and I already sent my children to school and let the teacher teach them, and I do not have enough time to teach them, so just let the teacher do it for me. Whereas actually education is the parents' responsibility. I mean, like, parents should make sure that the everything goes well at school, and they support the teacher as well, not only like giving everything to the teacher.
True.
Yeah. Mm.
Like there, it's a collaboration between teachers and parents to help children. It's not only parents' responsibility. It's not only teachers' responsibility.
Mm.
Because half the time is spent at school and half the time is actually spent at home, or let's say more than half the time is that actually spent at home. So parents need to respect that, understand that, and help the children accordingly, along with the school.
Mm. And do you think like you know already how to help underachiever, which is the student, but do you think there are also like your subordinate or employee, there are also, how we call it, underachiever or low perform as your, yeah, subordinate or your employee, and how do you help them to perform?
Yeah, that's another great question, I would say. uh, First of all, initially I struggled with it, like I said, Lulu, because of my age. If I find somebody, let's not call it underachiever, let's call it somebody's underperforming. Okay, so if somebody is not performing up to the mark, or up to their potential, because of whatever reason, so initially it was difficult for me to point it out or to be able to help, because again, acceptance, age barrier, age gap. So but now I think I've started taking teachers training on a very regular basis, and we have designed this training program where we cover each and every criteria, or each and every area of development for 1 day each, and it's more like a 7 days training program. And yeah, teachers are called at school, and there's a 7-8 hours of training, and that generally helps. But specifically, a teacher, or let's say a subordinate who is underperforming, so I think it is to be dealt with a lot of patience, just like a student is to be dealt with a lot of patience, or um, yeah, I mean, because respect, after all, he or she is a teacher. After all, he or she also has a lot of experience, but there could be reasons. Uh, Sometimes, let's say, family problem, and already this pandemic has done a lot to all of us. So, yeah, I think my approach is with a lot of patience.
Mhm. Yeah, I think my question just now relate to Ima's question. He wrote it on chat because like his environment is not really conducive. So he asked, and his baby is crying. Okay. As a young leader, how do you manage to assure your senior when you bring fresh ideas to change some old concept? You think that they are no longer fit for nowadays situation? Yeah, I think it's happened a lot everywhere. Yeah.
So, wait, does the question mean that how do I bring in new ideas to change some old concepts?
How do you assure? How do you convince your senior when you bring new ideas that it's not is where their concept or their way of work is no longer fit to the nowadays situation?
Yeah. So, again, that is something about acceptance. Initially, like I said, I struggled a lot with getting accepted, my ideas getting accepted. But that's a great question, Amas. What happened is, I started bringing in small ideas first, right, and one thing at a time. When like initially, when I saw how everybody is considering my age, and how I'm struggling with it, I realized that I cannot just throw something big at everybody. So I started doing like little things at a time. I started giving one little idea at a time, because you see, I've lived away from home for a very long time. And I had some great mentors. Even when I was in America, I volunteered at a few schools when I was in Georgia, especially. Um, because I was living with my aunt, so it was easier to volunteer at a school nearby. So I would go there and bring in new ideas from there to my school. And yeah, again, like I said, one idea at a time. There are a lot of things that can be done here. For example, Luluk, like in America, in American schools, students go to the classroom, right? The teacher is already in the classroom. Let's say this is math class, this is English class, and students travel or walk from one class to the other class. Whereas in India, students already sit in the class and different teachers walk into the class. So just the opposite. So something big as that, I would not just throw like that. I might get that done in my school later on, but not like that's a big thing. I might face a lot of challenge with that idea being accepted. But little ideas such as putting in a sub teacher or getting logbooks filled or those little things can be easily done. But bigger ideas, not for now, maybe.
Yeah, I think it happens everywhere, even in, yeah. Sometimes what we learn from the US, for instance, it seems or it feels like the right thing to do when we come back to our country, but then when we're facing the context, the people, and the situation, it seems like it can be applied because we have a different population, we have a different character of people, so that
Very true.
we're stuck with, like, we know the ideal thing but we cannot apply that in the situation or in our context. Yeah.
Yeah, you feel me.
Yeah, many people experience that. Mhm.
Yeah.
I want to encourage the participant to ask question, because some of the participant is, I know that is an undergrad student, which maybe their age is similar with yours, I guess. So,
Maybe, yeah.
so I think, like, um, maybe they wonder what makes you, what motivates you to achieve a lot in your age right now. Like maybe some student is feeling so hard to even just finishing their undergrad study or finishing their final project, but you finish not only your undergrad but also your master. And are you currently studying something, or?
I am still studying. I'm studying law. I'm not planning on stopping to study. I'm going to be studying until I can.
Yeah. And is it master study or is it PhD study?
So it is actually yet another bachelor's study
Mm. Oh.
as an undergrad study. Yeah,
Mm. So you take undergrad study again.
again. Yeah, but this time I'm studying law.
So what motivates you, Melanie? Like what makes you do the extra mile? What makes you go to the US? Like what motivates you the most until you do your best in every opportunity that you know?
Yeah. So again, it's all about motivation, the word that you've been using. I feel motivated to do all this because again, I want to be that little extra from others. I know that if I have so much exposure, I'm going to get to learn a lot. Since I've lived away from home, I think I've gained a lot from a lot of teachers, from a lot of people around me, meeting people from different backgrounds gives you a lot of learning that you probably don't realize then, but later. So I think that kept me motivated. So when I left home for my undergrad, only then I started realizing that because I've been living independently on my own, studying and managing a lot of things because you're away from home, so you kind of have a lot of other things also to see. So that actually made me realize that living away from home gets to you get to learn a lot living away from home. So yeah, then that made me think that probably I should go to America and explore more. So a lot of exposure gets you to a lot of learning, and that's what kept me going. And even today I'm doing law, just so that again I'm that little extra from others. And I know that as much as I study, I learn that much, and I'm going to keep doing. I plan on doing PhD as well, maybe after my law. So yeah, I think one should never stop learning.
Mm.
Even if you're not studying, you still have a lot to learn.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, previously in our previous casual conversation, we also discussed it with Heather, like the mentality of lifelong learner, where we keep learning something, although we finish our degree, for instance. Actually, life is a long journey of learning until we no longer here.
Yeah, yeah. But I think that is something that you also, I mean, we are inspired by you also, Lulu. I was sharing with my students how you came to America for your master's after starting a family, which is also a great deal. I mean, a big thing.
Mm. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I was sharing about it with my students yesterday.
Mm, okay. And anyone want to ask question to Melanie, because it is not about us. It is not only about us, like our conversation. We also invite the participant to ask question for anything, like not only related to the topic that we discussed just now, but also
Please feel free.
feel free. Okay, while waiting for the participant, Melanie, have you tell us about indoor?
About Indore? No, not yet. Well,
Like what are the interesting thing about that place? Is it city or region or what is it?
it's a city. It's a city, and the state is known as Madhya Pradesh. So I wrote MP. MP is the state in which we have Indore as a city.
Hmm.
Yeah. So Indore is a very, very interesting city for a lot of reasons. So talking about a little history, we have actually two palaces also here. We have Rajwada is one of the palaces. We have Lal Bagh, and these were I mean these are of Holkar dynasty. Which is not interesting, but what is interesting is that Indore is known as city of food. We have amazing, amazing food here, and people from around come to Indore just to eat from outskirts as well. So there's this market in Indore, which it's a food market, and it starts at 9 p.m. And it is open until 2 a.m. So people go there late at night just to eat, and there are a lot of crazy options. So that is one place, and then there is this another market which is known as Chappan Dukan, which in English actually means 56 shops. So there are these 56, actually in the past when this was named as 56 shops, in the past there were 56 eateries, like there were 56 restaurants, or actually those are tiny little shops where there are a lot of options, food options. But now there, I'm sure there are more than 156 in that area for food options. So yeah, Indore is especially known for food, and there are some amazing temples as well, which have a lot of actually what do I say, a lot of people have faith in these temples, and again they travel from across India to visit these temples. So it's especially for food. You all should travel to India, to Indore for food. I would love to host everybody.
Thank you. And we have a question from one of the students. Lydia,
Sure.
turn on your microphone.
Okay. Thank you, Kak Lulu. Hello, Miss Melanie. My
Hey
name is
Lydia.
Lydia. Hi. I want to ask. Before that, I really enjoyful to hear about your story. Then I remember about a movie Tara Zamempar, and it's enjoyable thing. I wanna ask about do you is it in India, India's curriculum, senior high school learn about psychology, or it is your own your own initiative, and or what do you teach psychology in 11 and 12 class, and if it's so, why is psychology like in Indonesia we don't learn about psychology in senior high school, it's in university.
Oh,
Why you teach about psychology in senior high school like that? Thank you.
thank you for your question, Lydia. So
You get
yeah, yeah, I think I understood. She means that I teach psychology to class 11th and 12th, which is high school in India. So is it just because I am a psychologist and I want to teach, or is it in the curriculum, right? That's the question. Yeah. So it is in the curriculum, fortunately, in 11th and 12th. So I'll tell you about the system, Lydia. It's very interesting to know. So in India, we have like several streams. For 11th and 12th, you can select a stream that you like. For example, one is a medical field. The other is a architecture or engineering related stream. Then the third one is a commerce stream through which you can do any management course or any finance related or economics related course. And then the fourth is a humanities field through which you can do any administrative course in your college, or psychology. So the fourth stream that I mentioned, humanities is the stream in which psychology is one of the compulsory subjects. So all the humanities students study 5 subjects, and those are English, economics, psychology, sociology, and the fifth subject they get to select on their own. They can select any optional subject they like, for example, physical education or entrepreneurship or computer science. Or so fortunately, it is one of the compulsory subjects for humanities students. Not for all the students in 11, 12, but only students who select the humanities stream. Only those students have psychology as a compulsory subject. So all my students have, the students that I teach psychology, they've selected humanities as a subject, and they further plan on doing any of the administrative courses in college, or they plan on pursuing psychology for their college course. Did I answer your question, Lydia?
That was really interesting. Thank you for your answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Lydia, for your question. And I think it's so interesting. So do you mean all high school students in India basically have 4 options?
Yes,
And
they have 4 options.
it's what is that? Commerce, architecture, and then humanities, and what else?
So it's commerce, humanities, and the other two are basically science with biology, and one. So like the third option is science with biology, and fourth option is science with math. So the students who opt for science with math can go for engineering or architecture or interior designing or any course like that. And the students who go for science with biology can become a doctor or can go into any medical field.
Mm. So
Yeah, so it's more like medical, commerce, um, humanities, and science with math, which can lead you to engineering or architecture.
so where are the students that are interested in the information technology? Because India are also famous with many IT people.
Yeah, yeah. So, like I said, there are 5 subjects. Even if you opt for commerce, there are 5 subjects to be studied. In all 4 streams, the fifth subject is an optional subject. So you can take physical education, you can take computer science, IT, you can take entrepreneurship, or the optional subject can be computer science, so that not everybody has to become an IT person. The person who is interested in computer science can opt for it as a fifth subject.
It sounds like a high school student in India already learned what we learn in college level. Because in Indonesia, I think we only, is it up to now that we only, maybe others can clarify me if I did mistake. Because when I was in high school, we have we had only three options: science, social, and then language. That's three options. So you can choose either language or science or social science, or
So that's the only subject you study for your 11th and 12th?
like under the language, for instance, we have English, we have Japanese, French. It's up to you to choose, but it's basically about language, history, and literature. But in the science major, you can choose, you have a subject like math and also biology, chemistry, and etc. And in the social science, you can learn like accounting, economic, and is it history as well? I'm not sure.
Yeah, but so what happens is, like I said, there are four streams, and student has to select one stream after their 10th grade for their 11th and 12th. So there is a lot of confusion after 10th, because it is a tough decision to make. Once you've already selected commerce for your 11th and 12th, and then after 12th, you cannot decide that, oh, you want to be a doctor. That option is gone. Why? Because after 10th, you've already selected commerce. So then how can you, like, for 2 years you did not study science, and then if you think that you want to do you want to be a doctor and you want to study that for your college, that option is long gone. But if you study science, and then after your 11th and 12th you think that, oh, probably I want to be a business person, you can go back to that, but you cannot go back to being a doctor. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of options are closed once you have selected your stream. And that is the reason I am highly involved in subject selection counseling. So after 10th, I counsel students for their subject selection, that based on your aptitude, your interest, your family background, what would be the best subject for you for your high school.
Yeah, I think that's why they need psychology in high school, because they have to choose, like they have to decide their life at high school.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Whereas
more like that.
we in Indonesia still have time to decide what we want to be after high school.
Yeah,
We can change. We want to be a doctor, or we want to be an entrepreneur, or we want to be like architect, or it's, we still can change. But so in India, the student have to decide it early, right? Like when they,
yes, a little early.
yeah. So they need psychology to understand
Yeah.
their aptitude, their interest, and etc., so that they can be really assured that they want to choose this field of study.
Yes, yes, that's the reason. So we have like all the subjects. Um,
We have another question.
okay.
Do you want to ask directly to Milani, or is it
Bintang.
just try to practice your English, or you just want to type in, because they type their question on the chat box. I'm not sure. Do you want to ask her directly, Bintang?
Feel free.
Yeah, we will understand your English. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Hello, Bintang. You just want to type it? Okay. Okay, then I will read it for you. So what he asked about, so he's a student of history major. So he take history for his college major. How about history course in India? Did it popular? because I thought India have a lot unique history, just like Indonesia. Like Mahatma Gandhi, one of my favorite.
Yeah, the history is another compulsory subject for all the students until 10th, class 10th. Um, but even in 11th and 12th, humanities students get to study history, also sociology, which has a lot of history and is very, very interesting. So they are very, very well versed with all the history of Mahatma Gandhi. It's like everybody knows about history of Mahatma Gandhi. But yeah, history is another important course. But honestly, I don't know about your country, but um, a lot of students don't actually like history because they think it's very, very vast. Is it the same attitude in Indonesia? Like, do people really enjoy history?
Well, if you ask me, I love history.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I love to read about history, like because I think we need to learn from the past
True.
to
Yeah.
in the future. Mhm.
But yeah, we have history courses, and it's kind of common. Even for college, there are options like that.
Does it answer your question?
Question.
Fran? Yeah. I already know that Bintang will be interested in today's session because it's about you and India. You are welcome, Bintang. And also India are also famous with its history.
Yeah, we have a huge history, huge history. But Bintang, do you get to study Indian history also in Indonesian course?
Hi, Bintang. Do you also study Indian history in your college? Maybe like some subject about Indian history, or
Yeah.
I think we learned about Mahabharata. I think I still remember some of it.
Yeah, his non-violence movement and Satyagraha and
Yes,
yeah, Bintang, you should come to India.
yes, but not
But not specific. Okay,
specifically.
okay.
What do you mean by that? Not specific.
Probably it's not specifically, yeah. Okay,
And we have another question for Imas. It is related to the pandemic. Yeah,
okay.
there are some videos that show like the police in India beat someone who go outside or not wearing mask. Is it really happen, or like what is it like the rule or regulation during this COVID-19 situation?
So I would say now there is no lockdown, but when the pandemic started and when there was lockdown, there were very, very strict rules. People were not allowed to go out, not allowed to step out of their house, very compulsory to wear mask. And I'm aware that this is in other countries as well. It is very much compulsory to wear a mask, and during the lockdown, you cannot step out. So these laws were strictly enforced, but I would not say the condition was so bad. Maybe in some part of India, maybe in some corner of India, maybe somebody misbehaved, so maybe police had to do that. But that's not very common otherwise. Um, I'm not sure what video went viral, but maybe in some part of India, this might have happened actually.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, but they were very strict about it. Also, very much required to be strict.
Have you ever been go outside during this situation? Like,
During the lockdown, no.
no, not yet at all.
No, no. Like now there is no lockdown. So now everybody goes out. But there was a lockdown for a very long time. Lockdown as in nobody was supposed to step out. There were no vehicles except ambulance on the road.
So how
So
your groceries, shopping, for instance, and
so they gave permission, the government gave permission for groceries and things like that for like an hour or 2 hours you can go out and get it. Like there were limited hours for that, but otherwise complete lockdown. Now people are allowed to go out. Now gradually everything's opening except schools. Schools are still online, but otherwise everything's open, and now we all can go out. But it is compulsory to wear mask. Otherwise there's a fine.
What is the fine?
Um, it's I'm not exactly sure how much is it. Is any of my student connected? We could ask them. I think my cousin is connected. Monik, do you know how much is the fine for not wearing mask in India? I'm not really
It's
sure
like
about it.
it's like 500 rupees here in Gujarat, and maybe that's like all over India. It's 500 rupees.
Maybe. So 500 rupees is it.
Oh, how
Yeah. If I tell you in dollars, uh, yeah, it's almost $7.
Oh, it's $7. Okay. Here, especially, I don't know in other part of Indonesia, but in Yogyakarta, in the place where I live, if you're not wearing a mask, you have to sweep the street. You have to sweep the street, and also, I think we don't have like money fine, but you have to do some social work for
Oh,
for the city.
that is really nice.
Yeah, that's why everybody always wearing their mask to avoid that.
Nice.
Okay, where were we?
Do we have more questions in the chat box?
Uh, is Mahabharata true event? I'm not sure. What do you think? Is it?
In Indonesia, it became Wayang event as in.
Yeah, it's like a traditional puppet. Can we call puppet?
Okay. Oh, okay.
Like people telling story. Yeah, we talk about Mahabharata a lot. Of course,
Yeah, Mahabharata and Ramayana are very, very famous epics, and well, they are believed to be true. They're highly, strongly believed to be true.
it is about. I think it's not about human life, right? It's about goddess, goddesses.
Yeah, it's a very, very vast topic. Yeah, like all our gods come from these epics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All? Is there anything like any god that not from this Mahabharata story?
I think all our gods are from these epics, either Mahabharata or Ramayana. Ramayana is another as famous as Mahabharata uh, epic. Uh, it's also as vast as Mahabharata. Have you heard of Ramayana?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, our gods come from there.
And do you know like the huge temple in Indonesia called Prambanan?
Wow.
I think is it from Hindu or from Buddhist? Buddhist is Borobudur, right? And Prambanan is for the Hindus. Am I
Are
right?
you saying Pramanand?
Hmm.
Starting with a P?
Yes.
That might be Hindu.
Oh, how do you know that?
Yeah, it sounds familiar to Hindu culture. You're probably saying Paramanand.
Oh, what does it
Yeah,
mean?
probably. Um, Param Anand is actually, it probably means, morning doesn't mean joy.
It means like immense pleasure, like extreme
Yeah,
joy.
yeah,
That's the
Param
meaning of
Anand
Brahman.
is, yeah, extreme joy.
Oh,
It's a Hindi word.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share to you what. Nah, this one is called Wayang. So we
Oh,
tell the story of Mahabharata using this one. Can you see the what I share? Oh,
Yeah, I can see.
Really? Can you see it?
Yeah, your screen is visible, yeah.
Yeah. And this one is Prambanan, like the Hindus temple.
Oh, Prambanan. Oh, okay. I think I mispronounced it.
Mhm. So we have a huge Hindu temple in Indonesia and also the biggest Buddhist temple in Indonesia as well. So like some people think that in Indonesia we just have Muslim, no Hindus, no Christianity, no Christian, and also no Buddhist. But we have
Ah,
everything here actually.
nice. Yeah. I think Vaod has some question. Vaod, Zara.
Okay. Hello, Waude. Do you wanna ask question? Hello. Hello. Do you wanna ask question directly? Yeah.
Go
Just
ahead.
your microphone. Oh, by chat. Why? Why don't you ask your question directly? Okay, while you writing for your question, Waude, I will read the Imas question again. India is quite famous in Indonesia. I'm wondering if Indians also know Indonesia. Interesting. If so, are there any stereotypes of Indonesian in India or what Indonesia is famous for in India?
Yeah, Imas, so Indians are very well aware of Indonesia, but I don't think like there's a specific thing that I can say is known in India. But I would say everybody knows Bali, and everybody wants to go to Bali. A lot of Indians actually go for their vacation to Bali. So I think that's the most that we know about Indonesia. And also, what I have heard from people who have visited Bali is that Indonesia is like even cheaper than India. Um, I don't know if that's true, but Lulu, would you say that Indonesia is cheaper as compared to America? I'm sure a lot cheaper than America.
Not every city, like maybe some cities,
Okay.
but there are cities that are more expensive than I think even
Oh, really?
yeah.
That's very surprising. So India is cheaper as compared to America for sure. But oh, that is surprising.
If compared to America, yeah, maybe yeah, of course, America is more expensive than Indonesia.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it also interesting for me. Like, do you ever heard some stereotypes about Indonesian people in India or like?
Um, Honestly, not really. Honestly, not really. No. But so yesterday I was sharing with my parents. I was asking my father, can you guess how many islands are there in Indonesia? Because I was reading a little bit about Indonesia. So he guessed 5, 10. I was like, no, guess a little more. He had no idea that there are so many islands in Indonesia. I think that is very cool. I really am willing to visit Indonesia.
Mm. Yeah, like commonly people when they hear about Indonesia, like initially I asked the student, like the audience, like what if you hear about India, what comes up in your mind, like the dancing and etc. And for others, what comes up in their mind about Indonesia is always Bali. But Bali is
Yeah,
only it's just one island in Indonesia. We have other many islands aside from Bali. But yeah, Bali are the
correct.
famous island. But for instance,
Yeah,
I live in Java Islands and the city called Yogyakarta. And I told you before that we have a king here. We have
yeah,
a kingdom here. So yeah, there are many parts of Indonesia that people are not aware of currently.
true.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, already wrote his question. Oh, her
Yeah.
question. So as lately we have begun to realize that most of the education system, especially when viewed from the curriculum made so far, is only trying to measure the memory abilities of students, not to measure intelligence, and design a curriculum for students so they can have high intelligence ability. For example, the ability to think analytically, think critically, and problem solving. Well, my question is whether Miss Melanie intends to teach psychology in senior secondary education curriculum, namely to try to improve the education system, which initially only prioritized knowledge skill, but also the most important thing is character-based education. As you mentioned earlier, that you teach about humanity and how that student can have these characters. You have a very long question, Ode. I'm not sure whether I get your point or not. I'm not sure. How about you, Melanie? Do you think?
Yeah, I think I can attempt to answer, and if that answer does not suffice, I'll take the question again. But I really appreciate all the efforts put into type so much. uh, yeah, so I think what she means is that like until so far, or let's say until few years ago, education was more about rote learning. um, uh, do, do you understand the meaning of rote? Yeah, like uh, yeah, just checking how much a student can learn and not checking how much a student actually understands. Maybe checking if the student has remembered the answer and not checking how well the concepts are built, right? So that was until few years ago, or let's say until not very long ago. But yeah, what are you trying to say something? Did you unmute your mic? No. Okay, I thought she was saying something. Okay, yeah. So I think that is very well changing now. Now the curriculum is built in a way where students' concepts can be checked. Students' analytical, critical thinking can really be developed and checked. I'm very happy to share that the government has recently published a new education policy. Um, it just came out during the lockdown. So this new education policy is, I have the document. I'll, I'll share. It's this 500 pages of document which is just released in 2020. And this new education policy completely concentrates on the kind of learning that you are talking about here, that would really encourage all the critical thinking, all the problem solving skills, that would concentrate on how well a student actually understands the concept and not just remembers. And considering that, all the books are also designed in that manner. In fact, the exams that are conducted are also going to be designed in that manner. Commenting on that, I'll not talk about other schools right now, but if I talk about my school, we take exams in a manner where we actually take orals of all the oral exam of all the students until class 12th, so that we actually know how well a student is able to answer. Because if a question is given and if the student has to really write the answer, then a student might actually remember and answer it as it is. But if it's an oral question, then the student answers based on that answer. A teacher might as well ask another question to see if the student has understood the concept. So that is one thing. Second thing, we also do questions where not really like a direct answer is to be checked, but it is more like an example. A situational question is what I mean. All the students are given a situational question where they have to put themselves in the place and tell us the answer, that if you were in that place, what would you actually do? So that really encourages students to think, problem solving, critical thinking, also the point that you mentioned about the humanity. So these skills are developed with these little activities that schools do. And I think that really helps. And parents appreciate it a lot. They see a change in their children with the way they think. Did I answer your question, Ode?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your answer.
Please ask me if you have more questions. I don't know how well I could convey what I meant.
Yeah, I think Wade, you make a very good question, and we have a similar class when the teacher explaining, like our professor explaining about the PISA survey, like the survey that measure how far the student understand what they learn instead of how good their score are. Like
Right.
of the Asian country, they score very low in the PISA survey because although they can like becoming a champion in, for instance, like mathematics championship or physics championship, or to get higher score in every test, but when the survey measure their understanding about particular theory, for instance, the implication of the theory to some situation or some circumstances, they score very low. So it means that maybe we need to start to rethink again about our education in Asia, so that it's not
Yeah.
like memorizing something or being able to get higher score, but also do we understand how or when this particular theory or lesson will be applied in the real life situation.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We still have other question.
Sure.
Is in India student get many homework? In Finland, the student don't get homework, and Finland become country with the best education. What?
That's true. Yeah, Finland is the country with best education. That's very correct.
Hmm.
Well, since my two of my students just got connected, Krati and Jhalak are the two students. They're connected. If you ask them, they are going to say yes. We get a lot of homework from our teacher, but I wouldn't really agree to that. Uh, so in India, for the pre-primary classes, the elementary classes, like nursery and kindergarten, there is no homework at all. Um, like the government has banned homework for these classes.
For,
We can, yeah, sorry.
for elementary and kindergarten?
Yeah. So we can give them some practice work, but we're not supposed to give them homework. So we give them worksheets, but not really like homework. You know what I mean? But for other classes, we do give assignments, and I would say it's not a lot, but my students will not agree. So yeah, there's a debate. Thanks for asking that question.
Yeah, I think homework it's also a debate everywhere. Like, shall
Yeah,
we?
it's a debate everywhere. Yeah, but I did not know about the fact that Finland students do not get any homework. I am aware that it is the country with the best education, but I am surprised they don't give any homework. Maybe they have longer school hours so that the students can do the assignment also in school itself. They can independently study at the school itself. Maybe I'm not aware what kind of education system they follow. But Lulu, we should visit Finland together to find out.
Finish? Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, because none of us are from Finland, so we cannot assure to you all how is it like education in Finland. None of us are
Yeah,
Finnish. Am I right? Finnish is Finland.
probably. Yeah.
Finnish, Finnish. Okay. Is there any other question? We still have like around 14 or 12 minutes before we close our casual conversation with Melanie. Or do you have a question for us, Melanie, for Indonesian here?
Yeah, let me ask my students. Krati, Jhalak, Muskan, do you have any questions
Yeah,
for Lulu?
yes,
Feel free to ask.
guys, feel free to ask question.
So, yeah, I think I'm not sure, but do you all also call it class 1 to 12, or is it a different pattern? Do you have a like
Yeah, we call it
what is
class one.
yeah? So the very first class is known as nursery. Is that correct? Yeah, okay. So, okay, I was not sure how it works. So here we have nursery and then 2 classes of kindergarten, like UKG, LKG, UKG, and then first to 12th. Oh, okay, it's similar to India.
Yeah, we call it TKA, TKB. We have question from Putri. Putri, do you wanna ask question? You raise your hand before.
Yes.
Yep.
Can I
Go
ask?
ahead.
Okay. Hi, Miss Melanie.
Hello.
Thanks for the opportunity. So I want to ask your opinion about parents who can not accept it that their child is not good enough in the study. So because in my country, uh, some parents think that their child must good enough in study so they can have a success life in the future. Yeah, I mean, sometimes parents just want to see that their children good in the academic without see another subject or talent. And we also know that every person have their own talent. And yeah, what would you do if you have to face such as that parents?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Can you get the mean?
Yeah, I think what you mean is a lot of times parents think that if their child is not good at academics, they might not have good career, but it is important for parents and everybody else to understand that if a student is not good at academics, they might be good at other streams. Is that what you meant?
Yes. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and how do I deal with that?
right.
Yeah, Patri, that's a great question, I think. I think I come across such parents very often, and again, that is a very common belief. I think not just in India, but around the globe, parents think that if the child is not performing well in academics, the child might not have good career. But yeah, when I come across that, like I said, parents start tagging their child as a child who has a problem, like a child, like they say she's a problem child. Like I said earlier, it's important to make parents understand that child is not a problem child. Child is different, problem is different. Probably there might be lack of motivation for them to perform well in academics. That is one thing. At the same time, parents need to understand that if not one field, there are various other fields. So I think it is very important to do parents counseling, which is very common at my school, the Vidyanjali International School. We invite parents every now and then to make them understand. Like I said, after 10th, when they have subject selection, even at that time, I encourage students to make me meet their parents so that I can make parents understand that whatever stream the child wants to take, it's okay to do it. There is scope in every field. It's not like if the child does not become doctor, there's no scope, no other scope at all. Or if the child does not become a IT person, there's no other field at all. So it's important to make to spread awareness on that. Towards parents. I'm sure there are such programs in Indonesia as well, where parents are actually counseled and made aware of such things. Is there a thing like that, Luke?
I'm not really sure, actually. Putri, does it answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Uh,
Thank you.
so, thank you. So I think my students too have a question. Muskan has a question and Krati has a question. Can they ask?
Hello.
Yeah.
Which one
Yeah,
first?
Muskan, go ahead.
Good morning, teachers. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, my question is that, like we know that every school is different, every school and every culture is different. So, what are the things your school do for the means schools in Indonesia do for the development of children, like life skills and self-help skills, stuff like that?
Okay. Interesting. You have something like that. Okay. Everyone, others, if you, because like it's been a long time. I'm no longer a student, so I'm not sure what are the curriculum nowadays. But during my time as a student, I think we only have like the subject as well as like the extracurricular program, such as in sport or in some student body, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right? Or the scout. So there is no like specific program or subject that teach us the student life skill or even soft skill. There's no such thing like that, and I hope we have that. I don't know about the current education curriculum. Is there anyone who want to maybe Bintang, you are the high school teacher, right? Is does your school have something like a program that teach the student life skill and etc. Bintang? You can answer me in Indonesian if you want. I will translate it for you. Hello Bintang. Do you have the program for life skill in your school? I'm not sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a comment from Lydia that that
Parents council.
counseling. Yeah.
Thank you, Lydia. Yeah. Encourage parents.
Muskan, am I
Yeah.
right? Right?
Yeah,
Thank you.
Muskan asked the
Yeah. So we don't have that kind of program. Do you have that, Milan?
we do have we keep doing certain activities. There's disturbance. Can you mute them? Yeah. Well, we do have actually such programs where we encourage. Muskan, can you answer that question? What do we do at our school for that? She asked the
Yes,
question. Let's allow her to answer. Yes, tell us, Muskan.
ma'am, for the smaller kids, like for the younger kids, nursery and all, we have rainy days where they can enjoy wearing raincoats and stuff. And then for elder kids, for us, we celebrate each and every festival at our school, even Navratri and every festival, Indian festival. We even try to celebrate some US festivals, like last year on Diwali we made a Halloween rangoli.
So so Rangoli is like a design with a powder on the floor. So at school we really encourage all kinds of festivals, whether it's a Halloween, whether it's Christmas, even if it's Eid or any festival, so that students have an idea of all the cultures, diverse cultures. Yeah. So yeah, students
and
are involved in that. Yeah.
and even on Christmas our teachers, some of our teachers dress up like Santa Claus and they come to our classes, give us treats and all. So yeah, it's fun there.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
What about the life skill program part? Like, do you have that kind of program?
Earlier we used to have life skill classes. Now we get life skills within our subjects. I mean, when teachers are teaching us, they tell us things which we should apply in our lives with in according to our subject.
But Luluk, for the younger classes, we have life skills classes where students are taught stitching, where students are taught how to take a phone call, or such very basic life skills which a student should know, very basic life skills. And I think parents really appreciate these skills to be inculcated in their children, because some of the things cannot be taught at home by parents, especially to the younger ones. They don't listen to their parents as easily as they listen to their teachers. So we have those special classes. um, yeah. Your mic is mute. Your mic is mute.
I think that skill is also important because Yeah, I experienced receiving many emails, for instance, for the students. There are they just do not know how to write a formal email correctly.
Right, yeah,
Surprising,
yeah.
sometimes they just mention what they need without saying hi, or not even without mentioning my name as the receiver of their email, for instance. Yeah, I think they also need to learn that. It
So
seems.
we have these things involved in our curriculum itself. Email writing, letter writing, or these things are involved in the curriculum.
Hmm. I think we have one more question for your student, Krat.
Yeah, Krati.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello. Hi.
Hello. So my question is that, like in India, we have taboo about the subjects. Like for humanities, there is a taboo. Like those students, those who don't excel good, those who have not scored good marks in their class 10th, they take this subject because people are not aware of the subject very well. They don't know the aspects of it. So, is there any kind of taboo in Indonesia regarding subjects?
Well, I'm not sure about it. Could you explain to me more, Melanie? What do you mean by taboo?
Yeah, yeah. So Krati actually means that like I told you, right, that we have four streams in India for 11th and 12th grade. So what happens is it's a general stigma, it's general belief of people around here that the students who cannot study science, the students who are not very good at studies and academics, they generally select humanities. It's a misbelief, you know. It's not the right belief, but people around here believe like that. So is there any kind of stigma or any kind of such false belief in Indonesia as well around any subject?
Yeah, unfortunately, Krati, yes, it is. It's similar then. It's similar to India. Usually,
Yeah,
the society think that students who are smart will go to the science major.
true.
Less smart then go to the social science, and then lesson than that they will go to the language program. Yeah, whereas we already know, we learn, of course, in psychology, that all of us has a different unique ability, right? And we complete each other. There is no such ability that are better than other abilities. We all need each other ability to be complete and to do all of the thing in this world, to run the world. Basically, we need all subject that equally important for the world, I guess. Yeah, but yeah, unfortunately, we need to counsel the parents as well as the society that people are.
It's quite a lot about spreading awareness
Hmm,
in the people.
we are still in the progress of educating people about different ability or multiple intelligence, so that none of us feeling less than others because of
Yeah,
their unique ability, actually. Mhm. Do we still have question?
you have one.
Oh,
Thanks for answering, ma'am.
discuss it. You
I
can answer it or not, but like in, yeah, there are many news cover about news coverage about the women's security in India. Is it really dangerous for women to go outside at night, for instance, in India?
Well, I would say India is no exception for that matter. It's just the same. So I thought probably like it's not as good in India, but when I went to America and lived there for a while, I realized that it's just the same everywhere. Like look, even in America, we would be scared to go out at night, right? Like we would always avoid doing that. So I think it's just kind of same everywhere. It's no different. But as far as your question is concerned about the education system point of view, I would say that we do have self defense classes. because no matter what, one should know martial arts, one should be able to defend themselves. So we even like in the pandemic situation, while all the classes are online, we do online self-defense classes for all the age groups, starting from first grade until 12th grade. We do martial arts, we do these self-defense courses where students are actually taught how to like if somebody's attacking, what to do, and those things. So I think that is also very well appreciated by everybody.
Yeah, it reminds me the time when I was in the US. I always have pepper spray in my bag, so it's a bit.
So it's just the same everywhere. Media sure does portray some things otherwise, but I think it's just the same everywhere. I think Muskan wants to add something to my answer. Go ahead, Muskan.
Ma'am, as you said, it's everywhere. Women's security needs to be in significant everywhere. So with this, I want to add that why not us? Let's take this. I mean, all of us. Let's take this oath that we will try that we'll not disrespect women on our side at least. So that maybe with us, people can get this idea that disrespecting women is not a thing. You should not do that.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point, Muskan.
Because I think it all starts with our mentality, what we think at least. So if we'll think good about people, then I think this will
Yeah,
decrease.
object like the mentality where women are being objectified needs to be corrected. We all need to have a positive thought so that others have a positive thought about it. Yeah, good point.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I think we need. I think this conversation also clarify many things, right? Like what we see, not really what exactly happened. Like we cannot generalize the country or a particular culture or race for just little people that do little or small people that do bad thing, and then all of us get impacted of their bad behavior. So it's unfair as well. Yeah, I remember I always have my pepper spray in my bag when I study in the United States of America. Yeah, but
Like
yeah,
otherwise, imagine like everybody has such a positive view of America that there's so much safety. Sure, there is, but women's safety, I think, is an issue everywhere, and no country is left. Yeah.
well, Melanie, we already have to finish this session, and thank you so much
Yes.
for your sharing for this conversation. And shall we take a picture right now? Everyone, do you mind to turn on your video to take picture or?
Please turn on your cameras. I really enjoyed this conversation.
Hello,
Thank you for being a part of it.
hello, Bintang. Oh, which one is Krati? Which one is Muskan?
Muskan is in yellow, Krati is in purple.
The Muskan is the one with yellow t-shirt?
Yes, yes.
Hi. Okay, okay then. Everybody ready for the picture? Wait a second. Hmm. Where is your smile?
Hi.
1, 2, 3. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much, and thank you, Miloni, for your sharing today. Do you want to have like
Thank you so
statement for this conversation?
Do I want to have a statement?
Like closing statement?
Yeah. I'm just really glad to be meeting everybody. I got some amazing questions to answer, and I hope I get to see you all sometime soon again. But thank you so much. I hope I could be of some help, or I could share at least some knowledge with everybody.
Yeah. Of course, we
Yeah, thank you.
will be open, right? If any of us would like collaborate with you or anything else in the future, right?
I am open for it anytime, for anything. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Milani. And for
Thank
everyone, we still have one more conversation tomorrow. And tomorrow we will have Bo Matsuda. His name is like a Japanese name, but actually he's from the US. And we learn about how to utilize task analysis to optimizing our learning outcomes. So everyone from either India or Indonesia, feel free to join if you have time, and if you want to join, just join. Tomorrow at 8 we will have another conversation. Okay,
awesome.
thank you so much. See you again somewhere later.
Yeah.
Everybody, thank you so much. Thank you, Johanna. Thank you, Ode. Thank you, Putri, Lydia, Monique, Bintang, and everyone. See you soon tomorrow.
All right.
Thank you
Bye.
juga.